I was saying like I used to like I'm an introvert, extrovert.
Yeah. And I'm an extrovert. What you would consider yourself?
Whatever I need to be.
Yeah.
I'm a chameleon.
Yeah, because it's like in certain situations, like I was telling Terrence, like I have social anxiety.
Okay.
So, but I know how to turn it on when I need to. Because I've been on
What
stages.
you said humble.
Shit.
What you like about the word humble?
Humble is just I'm really like laid back in my comfort in my zone.
I want you to do a little thing. Look it up on your phone and tell me what humble means.
What humble means?
I bet you probably won't even use that word never again in your life.
Humble.
Yeah, humble, because we use that freely.
We do use it freely.
Especially us as black people.
Having or showing a modest or low estimate of one's own importance.
Yeah. You feel like that?
Nah.
All right, so we don't use humble no more.
We ain't using humble no more.
You can be in your own zone, in your own mode.
You know, I'm big on reading and knowing what shit means.
Yeah.
It's like you behind the art.
Yeah.
Like you the person behind the art. So humble ain't a good. I just seen that damn Air Force One picture. That ain't no humble piece.
Nah, it's not.
You popping your shit with that.
You pop
It
your
ain't
shit.
finished.
with that.
I got a lot of work to do on that motherfucker.
Still.
Yeah. Nah, okay, humble. Not but let's say like not humble, but I'm like we're reserved sometimes when people
Reserve is a better word.
People come to me and they start talking to me about like the work and all that stuff. I'm more uncomfortable and reserved.
Like, what you just say you an artist.
I'm an artist.
Yeah, and we sensitive about our shit if you're an artist.
Sensitive about our shit, goddamn right. I'm too busy creating art to be concerned by the bullshit.
There you go. So.
And I don't. But at the same time, like, I want people to understand what I do because I get that question a lot of what I do and my process and what, inspired you for this, what inspired you for that. So I'm always like...
What inspired you to want to open up this gallery, man? Because it's like some epic shit.
People, man. Yeah. People around me every day.
And how do you feel with the competition?
There's no competition because both of our shit is just different. Like I'm gonna ride on my wave, they're gonna ride on their wave, and we both
what's
win.
your wave?
My wave is just to continue to brand myself, continue to put out dope art, and work with dope artists and expand my shit.
So I see you doing them little dances. What dance you do when you getting ready? Like how you get pumped
Same
up?
ass dance.
It's two-step.
My same fucking dance I've been doing for years.
But it gets you right, get you in your
mode. Get me right,
What else? I know. What else get you in your mode?
Oh man, I play me some Shaka.
Okay.
Some Ain't Nobody that get me in my shit.
You don't like the Sade?
I rock Sade too. Shaka get me in my shit.
You know, I was listening to that Sade the other night, man. My kids recording me laughing. Yeah. My dad, what the fuck is this?
Right.
It's one of my favorite artists because it get me calm.
I saw Sade in concert on my birthday 14 years ago.
That's what's up. I'm gonna say she ain't been in concert in a long time, so
that shit was.
I already know. That's one of my favorite artists, for sure.
You know, I let back my sunroof. I'm vibing.
Yeah. Man, I vibe off some Sade. I vibe off some Shaka. But they get me in my mode, get me in my zone. And then, like, I just got back from New York. New York inspires the fuck out of me, right? That's why these pieces right here, this is New York City.
Yeah. What's the most inspiring thing from New York, you would say?
The energy, man.
Okay.
The energy, the people.
What's the difference in the energy in Atlanta and New York? Or Georgia and New York?
Oh, Atlanta's slow.
Yeah.
I'm from the big city. I'm from Chicago, right?
There you go.
So Atlanta just is slow. Not in a bad way. Yeah. You know, they move. I'm Atlanta.
Do you think it's more of like ATL aliens, like more of a vibe?
I mean, it's more of a vibe. You know, you move at your own pace.
Because I know New York, you walking and moving.
Yeah, New
You
York
ain't walking, you damn near running.
You running. New York is a hustle and bustle. Get out my way.
But you know, Atlanta, man, we more like, what's up, brother?
Right.
That's more of an Atlanta swag.
That's a flag.
And then a lot of people ain't never met people that's really went to elementary, middle school, and high school like I did. So they compare Atlanta to another city.
So you went to middle school, high school right here?
There you go.
Yeah,
so I'm an ATL alien.
ATL alien for real.
You know what I mean? So I think people compare people from Atlanta, they don't catch the vibe because they get people from New York, Chicago, California.
Yeah.
But people from Atlanta, we take offense to that.
Yeah. I love the fucking Atlanta's vibe. Yeah. I fucking love it.
Because it's more of a vibe. It's Southern hospitality. We're more of a vibe city.
You see a lot of my people from the South. You know what I mean? So going to Chicago and the Midwest, there's some hospitality there. Right. A lot, but not like New York. You dig what I'm saying? So like Chicago.
But you would say New York had more hospitality?
No, Chicago, we got more hospitality.
Chicago. You know, I got family from Chicago, so it's more.
New Yorkers don't really give a fuck.
They don't.
Yeah. You know, they just
say whatever, do whatever.
Right. Chicago, you know, we got damn, you know, how you doing? What y'all up to?
And they sitting on the porch eating watermelon.
Yeah.
You know, my family from Arkansas originally.
Okay.
So they used to migrate a lot to Chicago. So I got a lot of family from Chicago as well. I used to go in the summers. You know, you got the alleys, the two flats. I know about all that.
Yeah. The alleys, the two flats.
They brought back memories, right?
Yeah,
the
man.
little juice, the candy bags.
Yeah, the fucking bags of candy. Fucking when penny candy was a penny.
There you go. And then they shooting in the park.
Yeah, they shooting in the motherfucking park, playing basketball. Yeah, man.
So I grew up kind of like going up there a lot for the summers when I was little.
Yeah, that's shot, man. That's shot. Cool.
Yeah. But no, that's it. That's it, man. We ready, bro. We excited to be a part of this, bro. It's gonna be something epic. People ain't ever gonna forget about this one. Trust me.
And I like to tell people, because I'm an art collector, man.
Yeah.
People don't collect art because they don't understand
They don't understand. I was telling this chick in here yesterday. She came in, a black chick, and she was, I live in an apartment. I said, that don't mean anything.
Right.
Let's put this focal point in here.
Yeah. Start small. Like, you don't have to buy from here, but buy from an artist.
Yeah.
You know, and start your collection small. And then
You remember the first piece you sold?
The first piece I sold was a 60 by 60 checkerboard with a model, a young model I shot. She was 13 years old, walked into my studio.
Wow.
Shit, 15 years ago.
How much?
I think he spent like 3 bills for that.
That's what's up.
Yeah, like 3 bands.
That's what's up.
Doctor,
There
my
you go.
first
Your first
gallery
one.
show,
That's dope.
right down in Brookhaven.
That's what's up. Wow.
Yeah, I didn't even know it was sold till my sister came and told me.
Dang. How'd it feel?
Felt good, man.
Yeah.
I was like,
That's
damn.
dope, man.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
You got to still
That's
congratulate.
black excellence, man. You know what I'm saying? That's how you do it.
He a doctor. He trying to nickel and dime me on some bullshit right now, man. Look, he just bought a $4.5 million house.
That's how they do it.
We need y'all to say, yeah, this is last show, so y'all give us a little energy.
Come on now. Let's go.
Come on, give us a hand clap. Make some noise. We got to make some noise.
Come on now, right.
We're going to give y'all a little rundown of what this conversation will be. This conversation is going to be the last show for Art by Anderson. He's going to tell how he grew up. He's going to tell what inspires him. He's going to talk about him being an introvert. He's going to talk about how shy he is about his art. And he's sensitive about his shit because he's an artist. Are y'all ready? I need y'all to make some noise because he's coming. Let's go. Art by Anderson, let's go!
The man of the hour.
The man of the hour.
I don't say all that.
The man of the century.
No, thank you.
So, man, Anderson, we heard you was a little shy about today, man. They said you didn't even want to come out the back room, man. They had to come drag you out.
Right. I almost went out the back door. I'm surprised y'all don't come through the front door. Nah, I mean, I guess I'm a little shy a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Okay. You're a little sensitive?
I'm a little sensitive about my shit. I'm an artist. But no, like I've been in so many social events over the years that I have to be social, like a social butterfly. But at the same time, I'm still a little reserved and a little shy, you know, especially when it comes to questions. But again, I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit.
Okay, y'all make some noise for my
There we
man,
go.
man. It took a lot to bring my guy out of his shell to do this show for y'all, man. So we hope y'all enjoy it. We want y'all to buy some. So let's get into the meat and potatoes. So, Anderson, we want to know, where did you grow up at?
Grew up Chicago, Illinois, Chi-Town.
Let's go.
Chi-Town,
Chi-Town.
South Side.
Outside.
You know. Yeah, you know, South Side.
Okay. So, who was Anderson as a kid?
I was always I wouldn't say a troublemaker, but I liked attention as a kid. Like, I always wanted to be the center of attention. And I always had a creative spirit. And I'm the only boy, so I spent a lot of time to myself. And but I've always had a creative spirit, you know, from just drawing cartoons and, you know, playing Army Man in my room and acting out scenes from TV. But I've always just been that really creative person. I just love the arts, period. So that's kind of like who I was as a kid.
So you talking Chicago? We got
you see
Jordan
MJ right here,
here,
baby.
So
You see that?
how did you pick between sports, playing basketball? You tall. You're not short now.
No.
You're a little over, you know.
Yeah,
6'5",
6'5".
11. But how did you pick art over athletics? How did that happen?
Well, art was earlier in my life. I always been an athlete, like playing Pop Warner football, and I picked up basketball later in life. But I always been an artist, and I've told this, this story many times. Is that my favorite aunt, used to come over my house all the time and just sit in my dining room, and I used to watch her draw. So I took to it, and I would mimic her, and I just started drawing. But then like sports kind of came a little bit later, like especially when I got into junior high and high school, and I kind of like put art on the back shelf. And I didn't do art for a very long time, because I was just an athlete, just trying to be the best athlete I can. But I wasn't passionate about basketball, right? I was passionate about art. So it came back to me later in life.
So would you say the creative spirit came from your aunt, or do you think it just came from God, or where did it come from?
I mean, both. It's God-given talent, but she was the spark.
Okay.
Just watching her, she was the spark. And I told her this. I haven't seen my aunt in almost 26 years after my grandmother passed. I think it's like 90, early like 90. And I saw her a few years ago, and I told her this story, and it brought her to tears. Like she had no idea, So I was like, Aunt Retta, you are the reason I'm an artist.
Wow.
Had you not have come over to my house, all the time and sat at the dining room table and draw, I would have never picked up a pencil and started drawing.
That's what's
Wow.
up.
Yeah.
That's what's
Shouts
up,
out to
man.
All right, auntie.
Aunt Retta.
The importance of aunties, man. Yeah,
So with you growing up, would you say you grew up poor, middle class?
Oh, very poor.
Okay.
Yeah. Shit.
So did that add to the creativity, or did it kind of take away, or you just like, I gotta make something out of it?
I just had to make something. Like I was always the friend of the group that always went left where everybody else went right.
Gotcha.
Like I've always had aspirations to get out of my situation.
Okay.
Growing up in the South Side, we was poor. I mean, there was times where and I've told this story many times. It was dead of winter. We didn't have no heat.
Wow.
Right? So coming home from practice, there's no heat.
That's not Atlanta winter.
Nah,
we talking
Chicago winter.
negative
Chicago
12,
winter.
13 degrees. We talking about the snot in your nose freezing before you
bubbles.
even.
Yeah.
Come on now, if you know, you know.
Right, but no, that was a part of my life growing up. So we was poor, man. Food stamps, all that shit. Government cheese, all that.
So
you knew you was poor.
explain Chicago to people that never been.
Yeah.
Like in a sentence.
Chicago is probably the greatest city in the world because of the culture and everything it has to offer.
And why would you say it's the greatest city in the world? The food, the vibe.
The food, the vibe, the people, the city itself, the energy, the sports teams, everything.
And how do you know somebody's from Chicago?
I can sometimes tell in talking to them because Chicago, we say Chicago.
Yeah.
Okay.
We elongate certain words.
Oh, you say the city.
The
From
city.
the city.
Yeah. Or if somebody's from the crib.
From the shop.
Okay.
Big, like, that's shy.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah. That's
So
shy.
let's get into you in high school. Who is Anderson in high school?
Oh, I was a goofball. I was a shy kid. Like I was a late bloomer. As every young 16-year-old kid, 14, 15-year-old kid, try to, talk to the ladies, but, the ladies didn't really talk back, and I didn't know why. But I was an athlete, but actually I turned it around. Like I used to try to talk to some ladies, but some ladies thought I was conceited because I was into sports, and they always thought because I didn't really talk to them. Then the girls that was the pretty girls I would I wouldn't talk to, and then it happened after I graduated high school. I was just a really clownish kid in high school, telling jokes and trying to be a rapper and shit. It was the 80s, man.
So what sport are you playing in this high school?
Started football, and then my basketball coach made me quit. And my football was my first love.
Okay.
And he made me quit if I wanted to play basketball. So I was like, shit, all right, whatever.
And who was your favorite rapper at the time in the 80s?
Oh, the
Run
80s?
DMC, who is it?
Oh, it was Run DMC.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got the Adidas and the shell toes on?
Yeah. I couldn't
hat,
afford.
you
I
brought
couldn't
that hat
afford.
from high school, that was
I couldn't
that hat.
afford
I
the
got
shell
you.
toes, but that was the group. Run DMC.
Okay.
Yeah, it was it.
So how was your career in rapping?
Oh, this shit was whack, man. Yeah, that shit. Like I was like really good like with freestyle. I could freestyle like really good.
Okay.
And but writing like nah. Remember me and this cat named Terry was in a group, and he was this light skinned dude like one of the fat boys.
Okay.
And we went to this community center. It was this contest. And we got laughed off the stage. So that was kind of it for my rap
Did it kill
career.
your confidence for the rap career? Or you was like, all right, I gotta do something.
You gotta go back. Are you doing art at the time, or you're?
Some. It was probably around the 7th, 8th grade. So I was still dabbling in the art, yeah.
And what kind of pieces are you doing back then?
Oh, the first portrait I ever drew or painted was Ronald Reagan.
Wow. Why Ronald Reagan?
Because he was the president.
That makes sense.
I like that.
Yeah, it was the 80s.
Yeah.
You know, he was the president, so
And how was that living through the Ronald Reagan era?
as a kid, I didn't really pay attention. I just
Okay.
knew I was poor. We were poor, and we were just out here having fun as kids. Like I didn't really pay attention. I didn't watch like TV back then.
Okay.
You know, I mean, like Happy Days and shit like that. But I didn't watch news. I didn't really know anything about what was going on in the world because we were in our own bubble. You know,
And what year is this?
this was like early 80s, 80,
Okay.
82, 3, 4. You know, all through junior high school. Yeah.
And what did you end up doing with the Ronald Reagan piece? Did you show anybody, or you just?
I
Put
think
it
I
in
may
your
have
own.
showed my art teacher.
Okay.
I think I showed my art teacher because I think that was an assignment that she gave us. But I always went against the grain because I already knew how to draw. So, you know, she would try to tell me to do it this way and the whole technique, and I wasn't with it. So I used to get in trouble.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you pass art, or you failed?
No, I
art?
got A+.
Okay.
I'll show you my report cards. My mom kept all them shit. Yeah, I was a C- student at best.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
was it a big decision for you? Like, okay, I need to either go to college or I'm allowed to follow passion or how did-
Nah, like
after high school?
with my situation with everything, like what happened, like right in around high school, junior high school, you know, my mom and my older sister, you know, they succumbed to drugs. You know, it was the 80s, it was the crack
I was
era.
gonna ask about that.
You know, so I just wanted to out. You know, I was good in sports. I wasn't passionate about it, but I knew I could, you know, play sports and get somewhere, right? But I didn't get the grades. I couldn't get the grades to pass the ACT test back then. So,
Gotcha.
you know, I tried it 2 or 3 times. I kept failing. But I wanted to get out of the situation, so I went to the Army. Yeah, I went to the Army.
That's a hell
That
of
was
a
my
pivot.
out.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah,
So
I
how
wanted
long-
to go play basketball, but, you know.
How long are you in the Army, and what are you doing in the Army?
I
What's
was
your
like,
job?
I was in there for like a little over a year and a half, and my MOS was water treatment. So I
Okay.
can like purify water and shit. So if anybody we ever out somewhere ain't no water, I know how to purify. Yeah.
So did you get an honorable discharge, or how did that
yeah, I
end?
got an honorable medical discharge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you try to get the medical, or you just something
Nah,
really
it
happened?
was just like they detected some shit from when I was a kid, and I was like, why didn't y'all get this
When I
when I first got in it? And I'm not trying to go back to the hood. They you know, they discharged me.
So after the Army, what's the next career? What are you doing?
Oh, back to the hood.
Wow.
Yeah, ended up back in the hood and
And what was you stationed at in the Army?
New Jersey and Virginia.
And what was the difference in New Jersey and Virginia and Chicago?
New Jersey was cold as fuck because it was in December.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was in December. It was cold.
And cold is cold. You don't
Yeah,
never
cold
get
is
used to
cold.
that. Yeah.
So, but Virginia was real cool. It was real laid back. I like Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you went back to Chicago in the hood, and then
back to the hood.
what are you doing at this moment? What are you thinking?
Oh, nah, I was just trying to get another way out. So, you know, like any other troubled youth, you know, I decided to get my Nino Brown on.
Oh damn.
Oh Lord.
You know, and that worked very well for me.
How
Okay.
did that end up?
Oh yeah, in handcuffs.
Oh
Yeah.
damn,
Lord.
man.
Yeah,
So you-
in the 4x4.
Mm.
So
And what did they charge you with?
crack.
Sheesh.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm very open about
We
it.
appreciate the
I've told
honesty.
this story several times. So I'm very open about it.
That's
But
great.
no, like I remember, like you know, I was trying to make some extra money, and you know, I knew.
Was you
cats in
making
the
money, or
hood.
you was losing money?
I mean, I was made a little bit, but I wasn't like you know no kingpin or like Tony Montana shit.
Right.
You know, but you know, I was just trying to make some extra bread, and you know, I got rolled up on, and I spent like a week, and my uncle was like the chief of police, and he left me in there on purpose. And so my best friend at the time, he was like, bro, I'm down here in North Carolina. You need to come down here and go to college. HBCU, Barber Scotia, Concord, North Carolina. So he's just like, come down here, bro. and I jumped on the fucking Greyhound.
And what's your major in college?
Sociology, because I didn't know what else to do. Like my whole path was just it was for the moment, right? It was everything that was leading up until what's going on today. So everything was always a temporary situation for me, and how to get out and ways to get out of certain predicaments that I was in. So like this college wasn't my future when I was in high school. Like if I could have passed, the ACT, all the people that were recruiting me, I'd have probably went to a D1 school and played ball. But that wasn't my path. That didn't happen for me. So everything had to go around, and I ended up, down in Barber Scotia, which is a very small HBCU. So it wasn't a lot of electives or majors available. So sociology was easy to me. It's easy, right? So I took that and got a almost degree in sociology.
Did you graduate or?
No, I didn't graduate.
Wow.
What happened?
Yeah, 5 years, man.
You did 5 years and then
5 years
graduated?
and graduated. Yeah.
Super senior? What happened?
I was a super senior.
Okay.
3 years I was down there because I was chasing the girl. And I wasn't even enrolled in school.
Dang.
Wow.
I was living off campus.
So
no,
what type
actually, no, I gotta tell you this. Actually, I wasn't enrolled for a whole semester. So I slept in one of my good friend's closet.
Wow.
So they had these off-campus apartments, right? And so I wasn't enrolled, but I would go down to the apartments. I said, I need somewhere to sleep, so I slept in the closet. And I would walk around campus like I was actually enrolled in
You had a
school
book bag on and all that?
because it was about this chick that I was in love with back then, right? So yeah.
So what are you doing for money at this point?
Oh, I was working at Bojangles.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are you dibbling and dabbling in art, or what are you doing?
Nah, art was like the furthest thing from my mind. I played ball, my freshman and sophomore year, and then I got injured. But yeah, art was the furthest thing from my mind at the time. It was just more like, okay, this is a situation that I'm in to keep me out the hood. Maybe something can go from this, something can happen, I don't know. But I'm here, I'm having fun, I'm young. Let's see how it turns out.
And what's the difference in North Carolina and Chicago?
Oh,
Explain North Carolina in a sentence.
North Carolina is the South. It's like the people down there are really cool. But I went to school with so many different people, right? But the whole city and the town was just, for lack of a better word, we used to call it Bama.
Wow.
It's just country.
Yeah, it was country. And I didn't know anything about that. I grew up in the inner city.
Yeah.
So I didn't know anything about the country, what I saw like on TV. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah.
So was there like a pivotal moment? Okay, so you done went to college, you didn't experience that, living in a closet.
Yeah.
Now,
Right.
is there a moment where you just like, you know what? I gotta figure something out. This ain't it.
Nah, not really.
Okay.
No.
You just rolled the wave.
I just rode the wave.
Okay.
Like I was like, shit, I'm here. I'm kind of here. I'm kind of in school, but I'm not. I get food every day.
Yeah.
I got a group of friends that, we all look out for each other. So it was just like that. I didn't like have, okay, I'm gonna leave here and then what's next? I didn't know what was next. Right.
And how old are you at this point?
I was 19.
Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't have no
19,
responsibilities.
20.
None that you
No
had
responsibilities. Like I've always been kind of a free-spirited type dude. Like I just kind of
Go
went
with the
on
flow.
my own way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I wasn't really conforming to anything.
Makes sense.
So after you get done with your 5-year stretch in college, what do you do next?
I moved to Michigan because I was going to Michigan
What
while I was
part
in
of
college. Three Rivers first, and then Kalamazoo. Because my mom, after her situation, she ended up moving to Michigan. My grandmother got her up there. This was like 91.
Oh, wow.
And so I used to go to Michigan, to visit. So I ended up moving to Michigan. Yeah.
And what's the difference in Michigan and Chicago? I
The
gotta ask you
same,
because
the same, man. This shit was slow. It was a little small town.
Right across the river.
It was just kind of like Bama. Like I was like, who are these people?
Wow.
Like I was like, who are these people?
So you didn't like Michigan at all?
No, because it was just this town was so small, man. It was they didn't even have like a McDonald's in the town.
Wow.
Yeah, it was just real small. I wasn't used to it, so I didn't talk to anybody. All I did was I would go down to the park, play ball, and then like go home.
Wow.
And I used to walk to the park almost every day and just play ball.
So are you doing art in Michigan or you not doing art yet?
No.
So you how old
Yeah.
and you still not doing art?
I was like, I had my grandma just passed. I was just turning 21.
Okay.
Just turning 21.
We
Yeah,
getting
so-
closer. We getting closer
We
to
getting
the
closer.
Yeah.
We getting closer. We're trying to walk y'all through the story just to see where he came from to where he is now, because we're sitting in all the things you just heard. They don't look like this. They don't add up to this. They don't add up to this. So we talking. He lived in a closet. He's 21, not doing nothing. He worked at Bojangles. This
Got
don't-
robbed.
Come on now.
Yeah.
So we trying to give you the storyline, and I know it's just follow with us, because when we get there, it's gonna be like
So, do anybody got any questions?
yeah.
That was my question. What is the luxury part?
Okay. Your luxury part. Okay, what's your question, man?
I can go to you. Hold on. I got you. Go ahead and ask away. It might not be loud, but we got you recorded. So
Do we
go
need
ahead.
the mic?
What's your name?
Joya.
Joya.
Yes.
Joya.
Joy, can you stand up so we
Can you
can
stand up
hear
for
you?
us so we can get you on camera and all that
I
good
wanna
stuff? We want to
stand
make
up.
sure it's okay.
I wanna stand
We
up.
all family in here. It's
Lord
Sunday.
have mercy.
It's a good vibe.
Joy is shy.
Okay.
It's all right.
Yeah,
Joy.
right. So now that we're present tense, how would you describe your style or genre of art? What is your thing?
I always tell people I don't really have a style. I just kind of create what I feel. But even in that sense, I kind of have a style, but I don't really try to put myself in a box or fit in that box, because I can change it up and do so many things. I've done stuff that people wouldn't even recognize that is my work. You know, even like sometimes people walk in here, like even though this is all my work, you know, it looks like different people's work, right? So I would say I don't really have a style per se.
So would you say that's a Gemini in you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It all makes sense now. It all makes sense.
So you,
Okay, I
okay.
got you. Here we go.
And you loud, so you don't need no mic.
Right,
Let's get it.
But we gonna put it up anyway.
I'm just trying to be professional.
What's your name?
Hi, I'm Fifi.
Hi, Fifi.
Okay,
Fifi.
so I know you made a lot of accolades and a lot of strides up until 21, right?
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, what is one thing that you're like extremely proud of yourself for?
Great question.
It can be multiple things, but like, take your time with it. What is that one thing that you're like, yo?
But I'm extremely proud of
That you're just like, yo.
finding art again, finding my passion. Yeah. When I found my passion, everything changed for me.
Damn.
So how did you find that? Was it like a breaking point or a making point? Like,
It was a little bit of both. Like my fiance at the time, she passed in 2015, breast
Sorry to
cancer.
hear that.
So she was really the other part in the journey who pushed me back into art, right? So it's when I got here and I started like really dabbling into it. So, fast forward, after she passed, depression, it makes you do shit. And I just started creating. And once I started creating, that's when the light bulb went off. Because I've always been this. I've always been an artist. And once I realized that and acknowledged that and accepted that, that was the best part of everything that happened for me.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Everybody give me a hand clap
Yes,
for that.
sir. Great question, great answer for sure. I love it.
Do anybody got any more questions? I need some more.
Okay, here we go. Name?
My name is
Can
Cherie.
you stand up for me, man, please?
Sherrill?
Cherie.
Okay.
I am Cherie. My question is, because I'm an artist, but in a different type of, aspect. What advice would you give someone who's in their 20s, wanting to make a name for themselves in, like, their artistry, and what piece of your history would you say was like the defining moment for you as an artist?
Okay. So I would always say, and I say this to everybody, especially young people, is that's getting into art, that's hard work, and stay true to who you are. Fuck what everybody does. This is my piece right here. Rule number 1, fuck whatever they think,
Nice.
right?
Nice.
Stay true on yourself and just work hard. because the hard work will pay off. And as far as just my whole history, it just goes back to when my girl passed and I really realized that I was an artist. That was who I been all my life. It was my passion. So once I accepted that, everything changed.
That's what's up. Great answer. Great answer. Love it.
Cool. So we're going to hold the questions. We're going to go into the next segment. He's going to tell you guys where he went from Michigan. How did he get here in Buckhead? How did he get to Atlanta?
You take a break or you want to?
Let's take a break.
Take a quick
We're
break.
going to take a small
quick break.
intermission.
Y'all want to get a drink real quick?
Y'all can get y'all a drink. We got you. We got to eat y'all. We got to eat y'all.
We knew.
It's like the commercial.
There we go,
Like
commercial
pretend there's
break.
commercials on TV right now.
We gonna get the two.
Get to Atlanta, man, because you done traveled all over 50 states now.
So this story, how did I get to Atlanta? Me and my best friend, 32 years, met up in Michigan. And later on, we had this huge plan to move to California and become famous.
How was y'all going to become famous?
Well, he was rapping.
Okay.
Was that
Back
right?
to the rapping.
Okay.
He was rapping, and I wanted to be an actor in movies and TV and in sitcoms and shit, right?
Okay.
So we jumped
What
in our
year was
cars.
this? What year?
This was
This gives people perspective of what was on TV that inspired you to want to do that.
This was 1995.
So what was on TV that was popping that was like, I want to go
I don't
do that?
know. I just didn't really watch TV, but I love movies. I always loved movies.
Okay.
And so like I wanted to go to Hollywood and break into the movie industry. We jumped in our cars, drove all the way, ended up in El Paso, Texas.
Wow.
Never made it to California.
And what are you doing in Texas?
What am I doing in Texas? Nothing for like the first month but spending money.
Okay.
Because I still had, dreams of grandeur to go to California and be famous, right? So the money ran out. We had to get jobs.
What type of job?
We was working at this place called Just for Feet. It was an athletic shoe store.
Okay.
So I was selling tennis shoes and shit, right? And worked there. I got an ad from this paper, and it said make $75,000 a year selling cars. There was a car dealership across the street. I took that ad, walked across the street, said I want to make $75,000 a year. I'm the best salesperson over here. So they hired me.
Were you really the best salesperson?
I was.
Okay.
So I walked back across the street, and I said I quit. I'm going to sell cars and make $75,000 a year. But wait a minute, we just got ready to promote you. I said, you're gonna pay me $75,000 a year. I'm making like $575 right now. That math don't add up.
Right.
But we can't pay you that. So goodbye.
Okay.
So from Texas we stayed. My goddaughter was born in Texas, and he ended up coming down to Atlanta first. And I'm still in Texas trying to figure shit out. And so, so I said, fuck it, I jumped in the car. I jumped in the car and drove here to Atlanta.
Go ahead. So you jumped in the car from Atlanta. Oh, I'm sorry.
I jumped in the car from Texas
Yeah.
and drove all the way here to Atlanta. That's how I ended up in Atlanta,
Okay.
because of him.
So you got here, and then what was the first thing you did?
I drove into a car dealership and told him to hire me. I said, I'm the best car salesman back in Texas.
So you was standing on that. You
Yeah,
like, listen.
I was a good salesperson.
Yes. Okay.
I sell cars, I sold Chevys, y'all should hire me, and they hired me.
Okay.
And I sold cars for a long time here in Atlanta.
So what part of Atlanta did he move to?
we was both living in Jonesboro.
Right.
We was staying on this guy's couch in his floor for like 2 weeks. And I said, I can't do this shit, bro. I gotta get a place to stay. So I got my first apartment, and we ended up moving in together. He was my roommate, and then I moved and blah 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 blah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
When I moved here, I was 28. Yeah. Shit, like $700 a month, some shit like that.
Amazing.
Yeah, like 700.
So
Yeah.
when did you start doing the art?
So art came when I met my fiance, my late fiance. That's when art kind of came because I was a photographer. Like I was doing photography. Like
Okay, so we got to take it a step back. You started doing photography.
So I started doing videography first.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a videographer. So I used to go around and shoot independent films and documentaries and stuff like that when I first moved here. Like I sold cars, but like I said earlier, I always had that passion to create something.
Right.
And that was just my artistic medium at the time was through film, right? So then I picked up a still camera and I started doing photography. And I started shooting like fashion photography and shit like that.
So who was you shooting fashion photography for? Just independent?
Well,
creative?
I first started independently, and then I started shooting for some European magazines like Flaunt and 10 and a few of those magazines. And also I would shoot a lot of products also. So I did a lot of different photography types of things in my whole career as a photographer.
Yeah.
And I did that for 15 plus years. I still do it, sometimes.
Got you.
So you did that 15 plus years, and then when do the art career finally, it's drawing you through your whole...
When I went to New York City,
Okay.
yeah, 2011.
So what's your first piece? What's your first thing you did in art?
When I came back from New York City, my late fiance Oksana, she took us to New York City. I came back. There was an exhibit. Atlanta Celebrates Photography. They had an exhibit. So a friend of mine, she was telling me to submit your work. So I started creating this series called Photo Fusion, which basically is Behind the Bar. That's one of my first pieces.
Okay.
And that's kind of started the whole photo fusion thing. And I would just take all these images from Chicago, not from Chicago, from New York, and I would just, manipulate them. So the whole show was a photography show, but again, like I said earlier, everybody goes right, I go left. I didn't want to do the regular, portrait photography or, landscape shit like that or, buildings and stuff like that. So I started doing this. And it took people attention off the other stuff. And I ended up selling 3 pieces on my first show, down in Brookhaven. And that's kind of how the whole art thing kind of started, like right there. Like I say, okay, I sold some artwork.
Right.
I think I could do this.
Okay.
I may be able to make a living. I'm still doing photography. I think I was done selling cars at the time. But I was like, okay, now I'm finding my creative stride, right? I'm finding my footing and where my trajectory is and what I want to do and where I want to go.
So I know you had mentioned when the question was asked about pretty much your purpose. You mentioned your late fiance. Can you speak on that? Because I think it's important just to, when you're in that artistic zone, what does that look like from a partner to be able to support you? And
she was everything. My rock. She was my muse. She was the fucking whip. Like, she was the biggest believer in everything that I did, right? Like, because we would talk things out. I'm big with manifestation and how the universe and energy works. Okay. And I don't believe in coincidence, right? Everything happens for a reason, right? So her and I would talk about things years ago. Everything that we talked about has happened.
Wow.
So would you give your success to her?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
100%.
That's what's up.
100%.
All right, give it up, give it up.
Can y'all make some noise for that?
There you go.
Them facts. They on my woman right there.
What you said.
100%. Yeah.
No, so
I approve that message.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, everything to her.
So tell us your creative process, man, because we see all your art, but we don't know how you create it. We want to know how you create this art.
I mean, yeah, I get that question a lot. I guess it just really depends on my feeling. Like sometimes I can be having conversations with people, and they say something that just sparks, like whatever.
Wow.
It could be any random conversation. I'll take that. I'm like, oh, that's a good fucking idea. I'm gonna create art out of that. I can be watching TV. I can be driving down the street. I can be looking at something someone's wearing. You know, so anything can spark my inspiration from anywhere.
So what makes you choose between? So I'm looking at some of them. Some of them are like paintings. Some of them are like collages. So like, how does that happen? Like, when do you decide? Okay, I want to paint something. I want to put it together.
It just comes.
That's what's up.
Like
It gotta be God.
it comes. Like I'll have an idea. It all starts with something I may see, and then the idea, and I'm like, okay, how? I'm trying to figure out in my mind how I'm going to do this. And once I figure out the how, everything else kind of takes off and takes its own fucking body.
So would you say you make it in your mind first, then you create it?
Yeah, I kind of make it in my, like collages is different. That's my therapy, right? And I've been more known for my collage work than I would think anything outside of my Miss Vanity series. But collage is like therapy to me. And it's like a puzzle. You know, so over the years, I've collected all these fashion magazines. I mean, hundreds of them. And I'll go through certain ones and I'll start clipping. But I always know a certain image from a magazine I may have looked at 2 years ago that I didn't use for a collage, but I know it's there that might be a good piece for another collage that I'm doing. So my recall is to go back to that magazine and get that piece, clip it out, and start something else.
Gotcha.
Which is like a puzzle for me.
So it's literally a journey. It's not like a. You
No,
can go back from 5 years ago and be like, you know what, I cut out this piece and it's gonna fit that. That's what's up.
Yeah, I can go back there and get a magazine right now and say this shit's going into the next piece. And I looked at that piece 5-10 years ago.
And what's your
Yeah.
peak time to work? Do you like working in the morning, at night, or do you just work any fucking time?
Any fucking time.
Okay.
Like usually when I'm at home, if I get inspiration, I start sketching. I always keep my sketchbook near me, so I'm always sketching sometimes ideas, and then every now and again, you know, I'll work on stuff at home, like small stuff. And when I get, you know, to my studio, you know, that's when I really get into my own headspace. I always tell people this is collages. I have a love-hate relationship with collage work. I hate starting them because I know what I have to do to get to the point to start the collage.
Okay.
I got to build a frame. I got to go drag all these fucking magazines out the back or wherever I'm at. I got to get all of the glue, and I got to start doing this. And I'm literally trying to talk myself out of it. But I know I'm not going to talk myself out of it because I'm an artist. I'm sensitive about my shit.
Yeah.
So I just start the process, and when I'm in the process, that's where the love comes in. And I'm got go mode, and I love that.
So business is business. So let's get into how do you price your art? Because you got some pretty healthy prices. So
Yeah.
how do you price this art?
Well, I mean, that's probably one of the biggest conundrums as artists. You know, how do we price our artwork? You know, especially when you are just starting off, when you are, you know, just a novice artist that's trying to get your footing in, because you're not really known in circles, right? Because as again, I was telling the young lady earlier, it's just putting in the hard work, and people see you and people are watching you, especially in the age of social media, right? People are watching, they're watching your progress, and you continue to progress. You know, so you may start off at $100 pieces or $200 pieces. We all been there, but then it grows as you continue to start working hard and getting more notoriety. Like for me, it was just a long path. Like I didn't start commanding thousands of dollars, like, you know, right out the gate. Well, kind of, but you know, I already had some momentum going in just from my photography days, right? You know, so once, you know, people start really recognizing that, you can also justify your prices, the things that you've done.
So the person that's just starting, hasn't sold one piece of art, but has some amazing pieces in their mind. Like what should they start out charging? What's the number? Is it just within you, or is it like you got?
Well, I mean,
is it a market price? How does it work?
Well, if you're looking at like the market in a whole, right? Like take this young lady for instance. She may go to different galleries, or she may go to galleries where there may be emerging artists, artists that are just coming up, and she's gauging the prices, and then she's putting her work in those same categories, right? And she say, okay, well, I think my work fits here. Let me try this price. Because really, at the end of the day, the price is what someone's willing to pay.
Intrinsic value. Yeah.
Right? It's intrinsic value. Like, I can put something on the wall and say I want $1 million for it.
Somebody's gonna pay it.
And somebody may pay that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not like saying that, okay, because my mindset is not like that.
Yeah.
Like, I put a price on it. My artwork is not for everybody. And I tell that to everybody all the time. And that's okay. But the ones that it's for, I really appreciate it. And I appreciate the ones that it's not for too. Right? So that is what really, gets the value going. Like, you go to these, small shows and you see and your work fits there and you kind of start there. As you start getting a fan base and people starting to appreciate it, and then your work evolves.
Right.
Also. Right? As soon as your work starts evolving, I think I can ask for a little bit more.
Agreed. Okay.
And let's do a name drop. We got a name drop because I want him to name some of the people he have did art for.
You gotta pop a little shit.
Yeah, you gotta pop this
You gotta
shit.
pop a little shit. There you go.
Well, probably the most notable person name drop that's purchased a bunch of work from me is T.I. T.I.P. Yeah, ATL, Southside.
West side, but
Yeah,
you gotta put the bankhead on
Bankhead,
that.
Bankhead, West Side.
Atlanta native, so you know.
yeah. I mean, yeah, but not Tip. I mean, he's been like he's my biggest collector.
That's what's up.
I mean, he's a very, cool, laid back cat. He comes in here, chop it up. At first, it felt unreal. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I appreciate it. I mean, I really do. Like, him and I had lengthy conversations, over the years. When he first started following me on Instagram, I didn't believe it was him. And then, he DM'd me, and I still didn't believe it was him, right? So, and then he called me. So I was like, oh, shit, this is like really, this is really happening.
So give me a couple of more.
Cam Newton's got a couple pieces.
Does he have
Yeah.
them in his spot or at his friend?
At one time, I don't know if it's still there. I haven't been to
Fellowship.
fellowship in a long time, but there was a huge piece upstairs in his private lounge that was behind the couch.
That's what's up.
And then there's one downstairs, I think above the DJ booth.
Who else we got?
Got Future.
Okay.
Come on
Yeah.
now.
Pluto. That man just said, fuck Russell. What you feel about that?
You're getting messy now. You're getting messy.
Who else you got?
Who else?
I got some work at the airport.
Here we go. That's what's up. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, to name a few.
There we go.
Give me some more, because I'm going to pull it out of you. I know you got somebody
You got some
else.
at Terrence Alexander's house too.
You got something in my
Terrence Alexander.
Okay, you got something in my house.
You got
too.
some at his house too. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Terrence Alexander, yeah.
Thank you.
We just had the
We just had this conversation. There we go.
We
just
literally
had the
just had that
conversation.
conversation in the back.
We had a conversation in the back.
We literally just had that conversation in the back. Yeah.
There you go. Right.
No.
Like I said, pop this shit, my boy.
I gotta be a little messy. He forgot about the late Kevin Samuels.
Oh, Kevin
There we
Samuels.
go.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, Kevin Samuels bought my first 2 mannequins from my mannequin series.
That's what's up.
Years ago. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
And I'll
He
make sense
started
now.
his neck. I know y'all sensitive about Kevin Samuels, but you ain't fuck that shit.
Yeah.
There you go. It's okay.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, I mean, we're obviously amongst somebody who is a living legend right now. So just stop real quick and give him his flowers. Give him a little round of applause. Living legend. A living legend. Right, living legend. At least you in this good.
But everybody make some noise for Adam. There we go. My boy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But I mean, I think it's coming to an end, huh?
So we got one more final question.
I have a big final question.
Okay, you gotta stand up and say yours, because you've been hyping
And
us
we
up
need
the whole
that.
night.
We need- That's right.
That's a big question, right? So as you transition and then your prices, like, how did you get the confidence? Like, what gave you the confidence to be like, listen, I'm gonna ask for $45,000. If you got it, you got it. If you don't, you don't. Because as artists, sometimes they think that, like, oh, you artists, you're supposed to ask for crumbs, blah, blah, blah. No, I want $50,000, I want $45,000. You got it, you How could you stand in your power and not sway when somebody didn't have it or somebody tried to be like, you asking for too much? Like, how do you like stand out like, this is what I want, give it to me or go?
Belief in myself. I bet on myself, right? I bet on myself. Yeah. I don't ask permission.
There you go.
You know, I just do. You know, so if it's for you, it's for you. If it's not, that's okay, because it's not for you.
Yeah.
Right? So just belief.
I love that.
So my question is, how does it?
Yeah.
How does it feel, or has it set in yet, that your art will live on past you for generations and generations and accumulate in the valuation of your art? Has that set in? And if it has, what is your thought process around that? And how do you go about your day just knowing that
Right.
there, rule number one, will live in somebody's house for generations?
I mean, I honestly, I can't say it has really set in. I don't think about it, really. Like, I am, I guess I feel that it eventually will happen, you know, once I'm not here. I don't really think about it, really. I would only hope, you know, my legacy will live on as an artist as I continue to grow and continue to learn and continue to give myself to, you know, so many people who appreciate what I do. So I don't, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Stand up and answer that question. We want to hear you.
Right.
I was just gonna ask, how do you feel about like categorizing yourself? Do you feel like you're more of a freelance artist, or do you feel like you're more of a particular artist in particular, or do you just?
I'm definitely a freelance artist. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Or does that matter? Does it like
No,
does
it
it matter
doesn't.
put yourself in a box?
No,
or you
well,
just,
I would always say, like, be an artist. Be true, right? Like, I look at people like Prince, right? True artists. Played 19 different instruments, right? So people like that, you know, they don't define themselves as this.
He's a symbol.
It's a symbol.
artists are formerly known as.
Right.
Yes.
So yeah, I just say be an artist. Whatever sparks that creativity, do it. If it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. But it makes sense to you.
Right. That's important too.
We want to thank everybody for coming out.
Absolutely.
We're going to end it on that note. Can everybody stand up one time for Art by Anderson and clap for my man?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Oh, thank y'all.
And y'all make
Appreciate
sure y'all follow us on Instagram at Real Business Talk TV.
Yes, yes.
And y'all follow Terrence _Alexander, Yisreal Right, and Art by Anderson.
There we go. Thank y'all.
Actually, Artist
Thank y'all
Anderson
for
Smith.
coming.
There we go. Artist Anderson Smith. Now follow.
Artist Anderson Smith.